Welcome to Season 6, Episode 4 of COMMCast. I'm your host, Brandon Emerson. COMMCast is a production of the Longwood University Communication Studies Department and the COM 434 CommLab class. This show is dedicated to highlighting the Longwood and Farmville communities. In today's episode, we get to hear from someone working in the sports world here at Longwood. So let's get started. Joining us on set today is Brandon Fenters. Brandon, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Braden.
Now, when we get started, can you just tell us a little bit about what your road was like here to Longwood University?
Sure. Yeah, I got to Longwood in the fall of 2017. Joined the Communication Studies program shortly thereafter, and got brought on full time once I graduated in 2021 December.
Awesome. Very cool. And you were a former student, correct?
Correct.
Yeah. Can you tell us a little bit about what it was like being a student back then?
It was pretty much the same as it is now, so it seems.
Mm-hmm.
Assignments, juggling assignments, classwork, and actual work with the ESPN Plus crew, which a lot of the crew here today do.
Awesome, yeah. Have you seen how Longwood has changed in preparing students for broadcasting at all?
There have been some changes. I feel like as a broadcast in general, things have been a little bit better since I've taken the helm. Just in terms of production quality, part of that is probably just because we have that brand new basketball stadium, and my goodness, it is chef's kiss.
Nice, love it. What was your favorite role to have at Longwood when you were a student during productions? My
favorite role had to be replay. I love the fast-paced nature of it, especially for basketball. I mean, there is not a time when things slow down for basketball for replay, unless you have a little bit of a slower-paced game.
Awesome, cool. Now, typically, what roles do students have for ESPN Plus?
Well, with my crew, things are a little bit different than at bigger schools. At bigger schools, you have to kind of be a senior to be able to do anything other than, running a camera or being a grip. Here at Longwood, I have students direct pretty frequently. In fact, last Saturday, I had Ryan Forrest direct a production, and he is a student here at Longwood.
Awesome, very cool. Now, going off of that, what are some struggles that commonly happen during an ESPN Plus broadcast?
Well, there are quite a few of those. The nature of live production is always very volatile. There's always the potential for something to break, and you have to figure out how to kind of get the train back on the tracks without, letting the fans at home see that there are issues. We'll occasionally have cameras go out. Last Saturday, we had somebody bump one of our cameras, and I had to run out there and fix it. So if you go back and look on ESPN Plus, you'll probably see me running. But no, there are a whole bunch of stuff that we fix and we keep it going, and we try and make it look like nothing happened to the folks at home.
Very cool, very cool. And being kind of a jack-of-all-trades kind of guy, how do you feel your leadership has prepared you for this role?
I feel like the biggest thing that prepared me was really being we have a role in the crew that's coordinator of broadcast operations, whereas I'm the director of video operations. My coordinator would be somebody who kind of is a second hand for me. Having that role with the guy who had my job previously, Ian Jett, that really prepared me to kind of take the helm here.
Awesome, very cool. Now, what sports would you say are your favorite to broadcast out of all the ones Longwood has to offer?
Basketball, without a doubt.
Basketball.
It's very fast-paced. I love it. I get into a flow state whenever we're broadcasting it. It's amazing. It's a lot of fun.
Very cool. And can you tell us a little bit how the studio has changed since then?
Sure. Well, when I got here, and for some of our sports we still do this, but we operated out of a horse trailer that we could maybe fit 5 people if people are comfortable, being shoulder to shoulder in a small horse trailer. But now we have the new Joan Perry Brock Center, and we have our own production room that we share with our in-arena ops folks. And we have quite a bit more room. It's probably 2 trailers side by side, at least in room. And on top of that, we upgraded our production by at least double. We used to have a 4-camera production in Willett, and now we have an 8-camera production.
Speaking of the production, can you tell us about a little bit of the feedback you've gotten with the new facilities?
Sure. Well, not just with the new facilities, because I want to stress that the students who work with me, they are phenomenal. We put on consistently in the top percentage of productions in the Big South. But, more eyes are on our basketball game, so of course we're going to get more compliments come basketball season. But this year alone, I've heard from 4 or 5 different people how, our production is very good, and, they can't tell that it's a student-run production. Because I'm the only full-timer who's on that staff, unless we have Sam Hovan or John Feinstein on call.
Very cool. And one final question for you, and it's a little bit more of a fun one.
Okay.
Do you have a favorite football team?
Yeah, actually, I've been a big fan of the Carolina Panthers most of my life.
Awesome. Well, that's very cool. And you might want to hold on to that, because we might have some questions for that coming on up, because we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back to test Brandon Fenters on his Carolina Panthers football knowledge.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. It's time for everyone's favorite segment of COMMCast Trivia. Brandon, we will be showing you questions all highlighting the sports world, and you'll have 10 seconds to answer each question. All right?
All right.
So your first question is, who is the current quarterback of the Carolina Panthers?
That's a really good question, Braden. I would love to be able to tell you that I know that answer, but I've been very disenfranchised with the Panthers since 2016.
Been a little bit of a struggle, hasn't it?
A little bit of a struggle
Yeah.
bus. I do not remember his name.
Well, the correct answer should be Bryce Young.
All right.
The more you know, right?
Absolutely.
All right, our next question is who holds the record for the fastest knockout in UFC history?
Ooh. I feel like it's Jorge Masvidal.
Jorge Masvidal? Well, let's see if you're correct.
Yes, he hit a flying knee right at the start. It was pretty beautiful to watch.
Maybe you should stick to your UFC trivia and study your football trivia.
Yeah, probably.
All right, back to the Panthers questions. In 2003, what nickname were the Panthers given because of their tendency to win games in dramatic fashion?
Ooh. Well, I don't know, Braden. Let me take a stab at it though. Panthers, clutch time Panthers, maybe.
It's close. However, the correct answer is the Cardiac Cats.
Very close.
Very close. You know what? I'll give you a point for that one.
Thank you, Braden.
Pretty impressive. All right. And our final question is, who was the Panthers' third string tight end in 2015?
You're really going deep into my very deep well of knowledge on the Carolina Panthers here. Imagine I get it right. I'm just going to say somebody that I knew was on the team in 2016. That's got to be Cam Newton, pulling double duty, quarterback and as third string tight end.
Well, let's see. It's actually everyone's favorite, Richie Brockell.
Okay. Shout out Richie.
Yeah, shout out Richie. And you might need to turn in your fan card there. It was kind of embarrassing. Anyways, thank you so much, Brandon, for joining us today. And thanks to everyone behind the scenes at the Cobb Lab class. Thank you so much for watching. Join us live this Wednesday at 1:30 p.m. on YouTube for another episode of COMMCast.